The cities which were formerly great have most of them become insignificant, and such as at present powerful were weak in the olden time. I shall therefore discourse equally of both, convinced that human happiness never remains long in one stay. It would be difficult not to concur with Herodotus, the father of historiography, in this characteristic account of big cities of the past and the present. This is Rome, a city that prevailed in the ancient world and through the Middle Ages, maintaining a significant role in modern times. Legend has it that Romulus and Remus, twin brothers, founded it in 753 BC. They were heirs to Mars, the god of war, and were suckled by a she-wolf, hence the city bears the name of Romulus. Every tourist in Rome admires the vestiges of the eternal city's past. Every visitor may also look at the maps of the Roman Empire. And they may quite naturally wonder whether there is a modern capital in the world today that predates Rome. Perhaps it is Washington, D.C. No way. Maybe Paris, London, Berlin, or Moscow. These are too young to match up to Rome. Then possibly Beijing, Delhi, Tokyo in the east? Negative. It could be that those very maps may help us resolve this matter. Quite a few of the powers on these maps nowadays are nowhere to be found. They failed the onslaught of millennia and were cast off the scene of history. Egypt is still around, and its history is older than that of Rome, but its current capital, Cairo, was only founded in the Middle Ages, the 10th century AD. Iran is standing in for Parthia, although they broke ground for Tehran, its capital city, only in the 9th century AD. Another significant neighbor flanking the Roman Empire on the east is Armenia, and its current capital is Yerevan. Cuneiform inscriptions have survived to our days, attesting to the date of its founding, and this was in 782 BC. 782 before Christ. Apparently, we've found the answer to our query. Rome was founded in 753 BC, whereas Yerevan in 782 BC. That is earlier by 29 years. This is the City Hall in Yerevan. Each column on the facade of this remarkable building is dedicated to one of Armenia's prominent former capitals. Through the 5 millennia of its rich history, Armenia has had many capital cities, big and small, of which 12 were most acclaimed. Yerevan is one of these 12, the most recent. The building also houses the Museum of Yerevan History. A large replica of the cuneiform stone birth certificate of the city is set at its entrance. The original inscriptions may be seen at the ancient citadel called Erebuni, and the museum erected at its foot. Rare are the cities in this world that possess written depositions on their founding, birth certificates carved in stone. Yerevan is one of the lucky few. The cuneiform inscriptions spell the city's name as Erebuni. That is because the cuneiform script had no representation for the V sound. It was replaced by a B. the phonetic transformation of the AU pair was pretty common, which is why Yerevan is presented in cuneiform transcription as Erebuni. Erebuni was the principal northern bulwark of the Van or Ararat-Urartu kingdom, which existed between the 9th and 6th centuries BC. There is a reference to it as Ararat in the Holy Bible.
Urartu is certainly the ancient name of the country which today we call Armenia. In the 19th century, when Assyriology was first developing as a science and people were deciphering inscriptions for the first time, there was much excitement when the name Urartu was read for the first time, because people realized that this was the same name as the biblical name of Ararat, which of course had long been known since the time of the Old Testament as the place where the ark in the flood story of Noah and the ark had come to rest.
Ararat, as Armenia is persistently named in the Bible, is mentioned in the scriptures on the occasion of 3 events. The first is the story of the flood and the deliverance of Noah's ark in the mountains of Ararat. The other 2 pertain to the affairs of the 7th and 6th centuries BC, when the Ararat kingdom was one of the formidable states of ancient East, and the city of Erebuni Yerevan was its main stronghold on the north.
Ce qui est très intéressant pour nous à Erebuni, c'est que
what interested us most in Erebuni was the fact that the fortress is the birthplace of Yerevan. This is where Yerevan was founded. Erebuni is truly an impressive archaeological excavation site, especially in the way it preserves the strata pertaining to the Urartian period and the royal Armenian dynasties.
Des niveaux qui appartiennent aux premières dynasties royales arméniennes.
It is remarkable how Argishti I, the founder of the city fortress, states in the inauguratory inscription that it was for the glory of his country and to instill fear among enemies. By the greatness of the god Kaldi, Argishti, son of Menua, built this mighty stronghold and proclaimed it Erebuni for the glory of Biainili and to instill fear among the king's enemies. By the greatness of Kaldi, Argishti, son of Menua, is a mighty king, king of Biainili and ruler of Tushpa. In cuneiform script, the phonetic transformation of the AU pair was common. Hence, in Assyrian and Babylonian cuneiform sources, the Ararat kingdom is often referred to as Urartu. This is the name under which it appears on the world's oldest Babylonian map, where one of the depicted countries is Urartu Ararat, Armenia.
This tablet is the oldest map of the world that has ever been discovered. And it's an archaeological object which is now in the British Museum, which was discovered in the ancient city of Babylon in Iraq in the 19th century. The scribe very carefully wrote on the surface of the map the names of different cities or different tribes or different places which he knew about. So the big cities like Ashur and Babylon and Nippur, the famous sites of ancient Mesopotamia, are there with the little circle with a label inside. Also, up in the northeast, there is a cuneiform inscription which says Urartu. and Urartu is the ancient name that we know today of ancient Armenia.
And this is one of the most renowned inscriptions, almost contemporary with the world's oldest Babylonian map. Achaemenid King Darius I ordered it carved in 6th century BC on a rock in Iran called Bisitun or Behistun. In the Persian section of this trilingual inscription, Armenia is spelled Armina. In the Elamite, it is Harminuya, and in the Babylonian, it is Urartu. All three refer to how the country was named in respective languages. Let us return to the Erebuni archaeological site. Scores of inscriptions were discovered here, recounting the story of founding the fortress, building a shrine there, military barracks, warehouses, and other buildings. The excavations have unearthed and keep on finding there various structures and artifacts which we admire even today in their masterful execution. Several of those objects were commissioned on the occasion of the inauguration of the fortress. Especially impressive among them are shields bearing inscriptions.
Ci troviamo sul territorio della città.
We are within the city walls of Erebuni now. Every time in this place, reflecting on these monuments, whether inscriptions or artifacts, we reveal something new. And this is our little contribution to recreating the narrative of civilization.
Il contributo che noi diamo, piccolo contributo, alla ricostruzione della civiltà mondiale.
Erebuni Yerevan excavations began in 1950. Many of the inscriptions found at the site do not refer to an exact date of the fortress's founding. Where has it become known from then?